Hello everyone and welcome back for another Star Trek The Official Starships Collection review. I have issue 131, the Artic 1, the non-assimilated version, seen in probably the first reel or first opening part of Star Trek Enterprise. And as you can see, I have a magazine, of course, and a model. So I'll put this aside. Looks cool, I think, so far, and then we can see what's lying inside the magazine. Okay, so here we are. Issue 131, the Artic 1, United Earth Artic 1 to be exact. And you have a pretty interesting profile of the ship there on the cover. It's kind of cool. And it is considered a research ship, launched in the 22nd century, 80 meters long, and has a maximum speed of only warp 1.4. Not very fast. Turn the page, or you open it up, and the interior begins the familiar format, which with more specification information. Considered a research vessel operated by the Earth Sciences Institute. Again, in the 22nd century, 80 meters long, a crew of 5, maybe 25 for specialists, warp 1.4 for speed, and no weaponry. Turn the page and you have a rather different profile of the ship there, going the opposite direction, as well as some text. And the centerfold showing you where various components are, as well as trivia on both sides. And finally, here's an article or magazine filler on the episode it was featured in, which was Regeneration in Season 2. Personally, it's like one of my favorite episodes of Enterprise, at least the best in Season 2, that's for sure. It featured the return of the Borg. Well, it depends on how you look at it. It's actually like an unofficial sequel to First Contact, because in First Contact, the Enterprise E destroyed the Borg sphere in Earth orbit in the past, after having gone through the temporal vortex. And Captain Picard ordered the sphere to be destroyed because it was firing some torpedoes at the base in Montana, at the missile complex in Montana. So he ordered quantum torpedoes to destroy it. And, we thought it was destroyed then, but apparently the explosion from those torpedoes just blew the sphere apart, and debris crash landed into the Arctic, into the Antarctic or whatever, and where they lay buried for about 150 years until the time of regeneration. So there you go. And the magazine shows you more about that episode. And finally, here's a section on the creation of Borg costumes, which is kind of strange that it would feature one of the original Borgs, but I think this is more of an evolution of the Borg costumes dating from the Next Generation, not necessarily from Enterprise or from the Voyager, First Contact era or whatnot. And more conceptual artwork along with the article. And more of that. And finally, the on-screen appearance page. It's only appeared in one episode, which was Regeneration, of course designed by John Eves. Almost everything is, almost. And again, it featured the return of the Borg, and the ship was assimilated and slowly evolving into something else. I remember at the time, and even in the magazine, it's noted that they originally wanted the Artic 1 to be to gradually either assume the shape of a sphere or become more of a cube, but that didn't happen. And just also want to point out that earlier in the collection we got this right here, which is the assimilated Artic 1. So now this is actually the non-assimilated version. So yeah, that wraps up the magazine, and you have a strange view of the ship there, which looks different, I guess. And not a bad magazine. The Regeneration article in here is probably a highlight, if I have to say. So now, without further ado, let's get to the goodness that lies with the model itself. All right, and here it is. And you know, it's actually not that bad. To be honest, I was not looking forward to this because I thought, oh, well, we have the assimilated version. I got that many months ago, and I'm happy with that. You know, I wasn't even really all that thrilled or excited about that one, but you know, this is kind of cool. It's nice to see it in a different way. It's more like a landing craft than it is more of a spacecraft, I suppose. You can see the landing struts here, and got your Earth insignia there, right? Which is kind of cool. Just says, what does it say? It just says Arctic Exploration or Arctic Expedition. So it's kind of cool. And got the front of the ship there, and nice green paint applications. And the bottom looks pretty cool. And you got some different coloring for various landing lights or pods or engines or whatnot, thrusters or whatever. And they almost look like skis, but I mean, considering that it was in the middle of the Arctic, it makes sense, I guess, right? Landing on ice. The back looks cool. No clear, transparent parts for engines or anything. And unlike the snafu with the Borg probe, this is mostly metal, and the plastic components are at the bottom there. And it's a pretty solid model, I have to say. Unfortunately, you know, there's just not much I can really say about it other than the fact that the quality of the model is good. Was it a model that I was excited for? No. Am I glad that I have it? Yes. I guess I will say that about all of them. But if this is a ship you want to rush out to your local comic shop, or, you know, to get, the answer is probably no. Of course, if you're a subscriber, you're going to get it anyway. If you're a completist, get it. If you love Star Trek Enterprise, get it. If you love this the episode that it's in, get it. But this is one of those ships that the cherry pickers will no doubt be skipping, and I don't blame them. This is just one of those random ones. But you know, try to think of it this way: for every random ship out there like this that somebody like me probably doesn't care too much for, there's always going to be somebody out there who is just like so happy to actually have it. So, in that respect, I'm glad that it's here. So, you know, again, it's a nice model. Kind of look at it up close. Nice paneling there. Looks good, and it fits in your palm of your hand about that much. So it's pretty big, had a little weight to it. And yeah, so that's pretty much it on the model. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to drop them down below, and I'll be happy to answer them or get back to you. It's pretty solid. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up the United Earth Arctic 1. And now I'm going to stop talking and just kind of give you a little bit of a look at how it looks on the stand that it comes with.